In this video today we are celebrating the Angular 14. So after Angular 14 there are a bunch of amazing features which Angular has released in v14. So one of them is the exciting one is standalone components. So in this video today the main purpose of creating this video is to give a benefit for viewers to take a look on implementation of standalone components in v14 of Angular in a simpler way. So I will try to convey my as much as easiest way so that you guys can understand the implementation of standalone components. So how we will be going to implement this in a very similar use cases. So I will be talking about some points. So we will be taking a look on standalone flag and component imports. And also we will be going to take a look on existing modules in standalone components, like the main way of consuming and using standalone components in your modular application. So in other part is like using components in ng module based applications, and also we will be taking a look on creating new standalone component and connecting that standalone components with the app. So let's take a look on it. So is in the video in the documentation for Angular standalone components. So let me show you out. So this is the documentation for Angular standalone components. So the main purpose of implementing standalone components is to simplify the way of using Angular applications. So in standalone components, directives and pipes aim to streamline the authoring experience. So the main purpose of this release of Angular v14 standalones is to reduce the usage of your ng modules. So this was the main purpose through which we will be consuming the standalone components in our Angular applications. So this was the main reason. And also there are some points like the reducing of ng module doesn't mean we don't use ng modules, but in some of applications Angular didn't deprecated that ng module usage. So we can nowadays we can also create the lazy loaded modules and lazy loaded routing for your modules, and inside those modules you can also consume standalones as well. So let's take a look on creating a very basic application, and we will be going to take a look on those scenarios as well. So I will be covering those points in a very easier way. So this was the main motive of creating the standalone components, to get the knowledge as simpler as possible so that you guys can understand it. So before going into the implementation, let me zoom in out my screen. Right. So before going into the implementation of that Angular standalone components, the main thing we are going to do are the few things to do must before going to the standalone thing. So the first thing is to update your global Angular CLI and global Angular core. So these two things you have to update globally. So other than that, after updating those, the second thing you have to do is to update your project version. So currently, as you can see here, my package.json, if I can zoom in more. So here you can see in the dependencies and dev dependencies. So the Angular core version is 14. And Angular CLI, if you can see in dev dependencies, so all of them are 14. So I'm using Angular 14 in compiler CLI, and devkit builder of Angular with Angular 14. So this is how we are going to update those things. So let me show you out how you guys can update those. So I have written a hash node article. So let me go through to it. So this is the article which I have wrote on hash node. So getting started with standalone Angular components. So here in this guide you can take a look on step by step. So in today's video, we will be going to cover up these points. So these are the before to do must things. So those things are what? Let me show you out. So the first thing is to let's fly high with updating our Angular global CLI. So with your terminal globally, you can write ng update Angular CLI in Angular core, right? And after updating that, if you can type ng version in your terminal, so you will be going to look versions of Angular CLI to 14. Here, if you can see in the snapshot, here Angular CLI is updated with 14. So this is the very first thing you have to do. And the second thing you have to do is to update your project Angular version. So how you can do it? You can simply write in your terminal, like as you can see in my VS Code here. So in the VS Code, if you can open your terminal and write here ng update. So if you can write ng update this way. So this way, if you can write, so this will be going to update your Angular version, and then after, if you can write ng version, so that ng version will be showing your project version. So currently, if I have typed ng version, so it showed me these three to four things are being updated on Angular 14, right? So you can also do that way. So these are the must to do things before consuming before implementing standalone components. Right, so now let's deep dive into standalone components. I will show you out all of the steps in the little of the code snippet, and I will be covering this point using standalone components in module-based applications as well. And also I will be going to take a look on how in which use case we will be going to consume our standalone components. Like if we are having with a standalone component and we are going to consume that standalone in another standalone component. So this way we will be going to consume that one, right? So let's take a look on it step by step, and I will be showing you how we will be consuming that. Right, so the very first thing is to you can go in your application directory. So here I have modules, I have components. So this is my dynamic components of Angular. I have created that one for I was trying about and other things, dynamic components in Angular, which was the API upgrade came with Angular 13. So I was trying that out. But here I have created the standalone directory. So let me delete out those things. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so now standalone's directory is empty. So if you can see in my application, so home page is coming. So home page is my lazy loaded module, right? So now we will be going to take a look on how we are going to implement standalone components. So now here, the first thing you have to do is to go inside your terminal. And inside that terminal, you have to write ng generate component. So the name of component, like in my case, this is a photo gallery. Give me a second. Sorry. So this in my case, the component name is photo gallery. And this is the flag I have to pass while creating the component. So I'm saying I want to create a photo gallery component, but with the standalone capability. All right, so once I will be creating that component, so it will be going to create files, and this component photo gallery is not imported in any of other modules. Like if you can open app.module, so there isn't any implementation for that component photo gallery, right? So now after creating the standalone component, the main thing you have to verify is the flag, right? How you are going to verify that flag? So if you can go in your TypeScript file, so make sure your component have a standalone flag used inside component decorator, right? So this is on line number 4, this is a component decorator. So inside that on line number 6, if you can see, So this is the standalone component because this flag is given as true. So this is how we have to create our standalone components, and this is how we have to verify like those standalone components are created in a right way, right? And the third thing, after these two things, the third thing is to make your application in a bootstrap way. So bootstrap means you have a capability for standalone components, but to initiate that capability, you have to go in your main.ts file, which is located at the root of your src directory inside your application. So inside that main application, you have to import bootstrap application from Angular platform browser. Right, so this is a bootstrap application from let me move it down here. Right, so this is a bootstrap application which I have imported from Angular platform browser. So let me do implementation for that, but before implementing that, I have to import my app component. App component is my root component, so I am making the I actually want to allow my application to be initiated with the use of standalone components. So I'm bootstrapping my application to allow my application with the capability of using standalones. Right, so here I'm going to implement, I'm going to initiate the bootstrap application method with my root component. So my root component is app component here, right? So after adding that, after doing these two things inside my main.ts, so my application is being capable of using standalone components throughout the application. So however, we can also do, if my root component is not app.component and I want to import my standalone component here, so I can do that as well. So the photo gallery component, which is a standalone component, so I can import a photo gallery component here in the place of app component, and I'm going to pass that out here. So this is how that photo gallery component will be in a capability of using a standalone throughout the application. So this is how we are going to implement this third thing. So after adding these things, if I want to use that application, if I want to use that photo gallery component in any of the applications here, like above the, if I can using it here, right? So it will not going to allow me to use this one. So because this application is built over the module based architecture, so I have to import my standalone component in my module based, right? So this was the actually another strategy. Like if your applications are built over module based approach, so assume that my standalone component photo gallery, if I want to use that inside my homepage module, so I don't have to use that import of that module whole, but because my component is photo gallery. So photo gallery component, I will be importing that component in the imports flag here, in the imports array, right? So after adding this homepage module, after adding my standalone component in the homepage module, so after that, now I can get use of this photo gallery standalone inside my homepage component. So if I go inside my homepage component and so here, if you can see, after creating that photo gallery component as a standalone, I was unable to use that standalone in my home page. So what I did after creating that, I have bootstrapped my application in a way to use the standalones, right? So after that, there is a main technique for using your standalones in your module based application. So the simply we have to do, we are not having to import the whole module inside your module. So using of standalone component is to use your standalone by importing that standalone components in your homepage module, right? So inside that homepage module, I have imported my standalone component, and standalone components will not go inside the declarations array. So the main thing is they are going to be inside your imports array, right? So this is how we are going to import the standalones in your module-based application. So after importing that, I can easily use my standalones as a selector way. So let me show you out. So this is how this photo gallery works here in terms of a standalone, right? So another thing which I have planned to cover in this video is to make use of standalone inside standalone components. So let's go inside that one. So let me close that homepage module, man.ts, right? So inside my standalones, where photo gallery standalone is being located, let me go inside my terminal. So I am going to create another component with the name of image grid with a flag of standalone, right? So after creating that one image grid in terms of standalones, so this is going to create a standalone component here, right? So after creating that standalone, I can simply go, I don't have to import that in my homepage module again, right? Because my main standalone is being used, which is a photo gallery. Now this is another standalone. I want to consume that inside my photo gallery. So simply I have to do is I have to go inside my photo gallery component. Here I am going to image grid component. I can import that one, and I can simply do that another standalone in the imports of my photo gallery standalone, right? So after saving it, if you can see on browser, so there's impact for, give me a second, guys. So this is not reflecting here. So image grid. Right, so I can go inside my homepage one. So after creating, sorry, I didn't use that in one. So after creating that one, after importing my image grid standalone inside photo gallery, so if I am going into the image grid component now, so with the use of a selector, I can easily consume that one in my standalone. So here I am consuming the image grid component. So what I did is I have created two standalones. One is photo gallery and second one is image grid, right? And I have bootstrapped this photo gallery inside my main.ts after creating that standalone photo gallery. What I have did is I have initiated that one. I have bootstrapped my application inside main.ts to get use of those components, right? That in standalone's capability. And after that, I have used that one in my module-based application. So inside my module, what I did, I have imported the photo gallery component, a standalone component in terms of import, and that import will be going to added in imports array rather than declaration. As in a normal use case, if this will be a normal component, so this will be in declarations array. But this is not normal component; it's a standalone. So we have import that in imports array. After importing that one, I have consumed that in the homepage component. If you can go inside homepage component, I have used this standalone component. And other thing I have did is I have created another standalone component, which is an image grid. And if you can see, this is a standalone flag is true. So what I did is I simply imported that image grid standalone inside my standalone component, and I have consumed that standalone component inside photo gallery standalone. So if you can see on the browser, so here this is the home page component, home page lazy loaded module. So inside this feature module, I have been used this photo gallery standalone, and inside that photo gallery, I have consumed this image grid standalone inside this. So we have covered these 2 or 3 things. So if you can go, if you want to read about standalones in deep, so we are having with the documentation of angular.io/guide with standalone dash components. So here there are a bunch of strategies and written strategies and a kind of things we are going to cover, and we can use of it. So also I have wrote down an article on a hash node, as I already told you. So these table of contents are being covered in the video. So we have updated our application, Angular application, in a global way and inside the project basis as well. And inside standalone components, we have taken a look on creating standalone components. And on the second thing, we have saw making sure our components have a standalone flag used in an appropriate way with a component decorator inside your standalone components. And the third thing we have saw is to adding a capability of inside your application for using standalones by updating your main.ts file. And after that, we also had taken a look on using standalone components in module based, as we imported our photo gallery component inside our inside our homepage module, right? And other thing we have saw is to use of standalone component inside standalone, as we covered image grid component inside the photo gallery. Right, so this is how we have covered this section. So I will be using this article URL in the video, so you guys can take a look on it. So thank you guys for being with me for celebrating Angular v14, and thanks for watching this getting started with the standalone components. So yeah, thank